Welcome. We are going to get the solution for the integral from minus pi to pi cos nx dx. So we'll take several cases in relation to how m and n are related. So solution. So note that cosine of A times cosine of B is given by a half into cosine of A plus B minus plus cosine of A plus B. This minus. Minus B. So we are going to use this identity to help us solve this. So this means that if I have cosine of mx times cosine of nx, then this will be given by a half into cosine of m minus n x plus cosine of m plus n x. So the integral from minus pi to pi of cos mx cos nx dx, the same as the integral of this, and then so I can factor out a half integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of m minus nx plus cosine of m plus nx dx. So then I'll have integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of mx cosine nx dx is a half integral from minus pi to pi of cosine m minus n x dx plus a half integral from minus pi to pi cosine of m plus n x dx. So we consider several cases in relation to m and n. So case one is when m is equals to n and all of them are equals to 0. So then this tells us that the integral from minus pi to pi of cos mx cos nx dx will be a half integral from minus pi to pi. Now, when this 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 times x is 0, cosine of 0 is 1. So I have 1 dx plus a half integral from minus pi to pi. So 0 plus 0 is 0 times x is 0, cos of 0 is 1. So 1 dx. So this is easy to evaluate because we just have x from minus pi to pi plus a half x from minus pi to pi. And it is not hard to see that we get pi minus minus pi plus a half into pi minus minus pi, so that we have a half times 2 pi plus a half times 2 pi, which will be pi plus pi, which is 2 pi. That is case one. Case two, we take m equals to n, but all of them are not 0. So this means that integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of mx cosine of nx dx will be a half integral from minus pi to pi. Now, if you remember from here, so when this equals to this one, m minus n will be 0. So 0 times x is 0, cosine of 0 is 1. So 1 dx plus a half minus pi to pi. When m equals to n, then this, if we let n to be m, so it'll be 2m. So it'll be cosine of 2m x dx. So this will give us a half x from minus pi to pi plus a half. Integration of cosine is sine 2m x over 2m minus pi to pi. So this is a half into pi minus pi. So this plus can say 1 over 4m into sine 2m pi. So minus plus sine 2m pi. So I have plus here because it was sine of 2m times minus pi. So minus sine of minus angle is minus. So this will be a half times 2 pi plus 1 over 4m times 2 sine 2m pi. But we know that sine of multiples of pi is 0. So this part is 0. So just remain with a half of 2 pi, which is pi. And then last case, case 3, is when m is not equals to n. So this means that integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of mx cosine of nx dx is equals to, now I will have all the two cases, all the two integrals will be there, minus pi to pi cosine of m minus n x dx plus a half minus pi to pi cosine m plus n x dx. And then this one on integration gives a half into sine m minus n over m minus n from minus pi to pi plus a half into sine m plus n over m plus n from minus pi to pi, which will give us 1 over 2 into m minus n, and then sine m minus n pi. So minus minus will be plus, sine m minus n pi plus a half into m plus n into sine m plus n pi. Sign of minus is minus or minus minus plus, sine m plus n pi. But we know that sine of multiples of pi is 0. So this term will go to 0, this will go to 0, this will go to 0, this will go to 0. So therefore will be a 1 over 2 m minus n times 0 plus 1 over 2 into m plus n times 0. That will give us 0. So therefore, in general, integral from minus pi to pi of cosine of mx cosine of nx dx will be 2 pi when m is equals to n equals to 0, will be pi when m equals to n not equals to 0, and 0 when m not equals to n. So those are the solutions to that given integral. So thank you.